The Secret in Pra by Edward Clarence Farnsworth. This piece is from The Deeper Mysteries, published 1921. For the enlightenment of students of the ancient wisdom, HPB arranged the 7 human principles to correspond with the Sun and 6 of the planets. In that scheme, Pra the life principle is not to be confounded with that Pra of exoteric occultism with which we dealt in the chapter Pra, page 67, Special Teachings. The Pra meant by HPB corresponded with the Sun, that giver of life physically and spiritually, and its color was said to be orange. The Liga Sharira or astral model body corresponded with the Moon, color violet. The Kamic principle or body corresponded with Mars, color red. The Karmamasic body corresponded with Saturn, color green. The Marsic body corresponded with Venus, color indigo. The Buddhic body corresponded with Mercury, color yellow. The auric egg, enveloping and with its emanations penetrating all below, corresponded with Jupiter, color light blue. The physical body was not in this category, in fact HPB declared it to be no principle, but a mere shell discarded at death, and so it is, if considered in its almost universal aspect. Elsewhere she announced what to the discerning student was really a clue to the secret hidden in Pra, to wit, that it is not a human principle, but in fact a universal one capable of manifesting as Jiva the one life. A little reflection shows that the one life, wherein we live and move and have our being, does not submit to modification. Evidently if Jiva be colorless as she declared, and Pra be orange, then Pra takes color from the finer atoms of the physical, even as water takes color from the glass containing it. Since the human principles should be 7, we have in the orange a hidden principle, the physical orange of our preceding teaching. At death the physical body is cast out of the auric egg, but the foundation atoms, those presiding over the physical organs and parts, in fact the master workmen of that body, pass into pralaya and are retained as extremely minute particles within the auric egg. At the same time the Liga Sharira or model body dividing, the coarser particles associate themselves with the dead physical, and decay with it. Next, when the Liga Sharira proper is discarded, the coarser parts of the Kamic body associate themselves with it, while the foundation atoms of the Liga Sharira experience pralaya within the auric egg. The Kamic body next discarded, the coarser particles of the Karmamasic body stay with it, but the basic atoms of the Kamic body remain in pralaya within the auric egg. The Karmamasic body afterward discarded, its basic atoms experience pralaya within the auric egg. Little or nothing of the Masic body adheres to the dead Karmamasic body. The resurrection of the outer body of the great master of physical life was accomplished through expansion of its permanent foundation atoms which, though suffering from the shock of the painful death of the coarser physical particles, were not paralyzed as in every other instance. Why then have the saints and martyrs of all the ages failed to resurrect their foundation physical atoms? For several reasons, some of which will now be explained. HPB once said that the mere materialist impresses upon his astral brain the belief that physical death ends all, and, as result, in posthumous life that brain is obsessed with a notion that it ought to be dead, that it is dead. The outcome is a semi-conscious astral condition lasting for an indefinite period. The belief is almost universal that the physical body dies in all its parts, and so it seems to do, but largely because of that very belief which Jesus sought to refute through his numerous appearances after the resurrection. Men like Saint Simeon Stylites have hated and tortured their flesh, thus at death paralyzing its foundation atoms for many centuries, and so delaying the progress so desperately desired. This despite the fact that the life of Jesus offers no warrant for such stupidity. The Son of Man came eating and drinking with publicans and sinners, but always with that restraint which safeguards the wise. Maltreatment of the flesh is sourced in gross misunderstanding of the purpose of the sacrifice on Calvary. Another reason why none have risen as did Jesus, the physical is the most obstinate of the 7 principles, while the 3 next in ascent are decreasingly so. Because the most tractable of the 7, the upper 3 have fully attained immortality. To perfect the orange principle is the most difficult task ever allotted to the human race. Certain masters have to some extent perfected a thin and transient physical not to be compared with the outer robe of the risen Christ. Touching the Christ physical, there is a mystery. Despite its attainment, may it not be subject to a certain diminution of power so that its full immortality requires a fresh descent into matter. Another reason why Jesus became the first fruit of physical immortality, as master of the orange ray, he received much from his Father in heaven, not Jehovah, but the great head of the orange solar hierarchy. Concerning what he received, that is a mystery not to be understood until one is on the threshold of attainment.